Let us see motion in one dimension, 2 and 3 dimensions. 1D, 2D and 3D motion. Motion means movement of an object or a particle. So in 1D, an object travels in a straight line. That means from A to B, it travels in a straight line. So you will have a displacement, you will have a velocity, you will have a acceleration, but all will have only one component. Okay, velocity will have one component, acceleration will have one component, displacement also will have one component. Example will be a car moving in a straight line. It is a 1D motion. It is the simplest form of motion. Okay, so here I would like to say that if it need not be always like this or like this one. Even this is a 1D motion. Okay, alright. So this is a 1D motion, this is a 1D motion, this is a 1D motion. It has to move in a straight line. That is the definition of 1D motion. Two-dimensional motion, like when you stand on the ground and you project a stone, you throw a stone. Obviously you throw a stone like this. This is a person throwing a stone. So at every instant of time, if you take a point, it will have two components of velocity and thereby two components of acceleration also. The example of this type of motion is called 2D motion. Okay. The example of a 2D motion would be a projectile motion, which we will study later. Okay. Now here, let us say if a person projects the object or the particle, ball or some object vertically upwards, it is not a 2D motion, it is a 1D motion. So you can say that when theta is not equal to 90, theta is the angle with the horizontal. Here I can say that this is making some angle theta with the horizontal, right? When theta is not equal to 90, it is a 2D motion, right? Circular motion is an example of 2D motion. At every instant, if this is my velocity, I will have a horizontal component, I will have a vertical component at every instant of time. Okay? So this is an example of 2D motion. You will have a Vx or Vy, thereby you have a, I told you that you have a acceleration towards the center and acceleration in the tangential direction. You have got two components, so it is a case of 2D motion. Similarly, when you come to 3D motion, it is a little bit more complicated. Example would be a bird flying in space is an example of 3D motion. So when a bird is flying in air, so it will have an X, a Y and a Z, which is constantly changing, right? So in a 3D motion, you will have Vx, Vy, Vz. These are the velocity components and these are the acceleration components. So the concepts that we use for 2D motion are basically the concepts of 1D motion only. Whether you take 2D motion or you take 3D motion, the concepts that you use are basically what we apply for one-dimensional motion. Now let us talk about accelerated motion. Okay, that means an object is experiencing acceleration. There are two things, when an object is moving with acceleration and without acceleration. When an object is moving without acceleration means A is equal to 0. When an object is moving with acceleration means you will have two types of acceleration. One is a constant acceleration, one is a varying acceleration. Alright? See, one thing, either acceleration can be 0 or acceleration can be constant or acceleration is not constant, it is varying. Right? When acceleration is constant, we have three basic equations. Alright? And those three equations are these. We will derive them also. But these three equations are applicable only for a constant acceleration. Okay? So right now we are studying the which topic means we are studying kinematics. So here velocity, displacement, acceleration, time taken, all these are what? These are basically effects. Okay? You are not studying the reason why this velocity is coming. Why the displacement? Who made the displacement? You know, when an object is here and from here it is coming over here, there is some displacement, there is some velocity, there is some acceleration, maybe some force is applied, that's why it is coming over here. This force part we are not studying, we are studying only the effect. That's why these are basic kinematic equations. So remember this point. Okay, so the first equation is v is equal to u plus at. Here v means final velocity, u means initial velocity, a means acceleration, t means time. Okay, s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means displacement, and v square minus u square is equal to 2as. These are the three equations. If you observe one by one equations, you see there is no s here, there is no s in this equation, there is no v in this equation, and there is no t in this equation. So depending upon the situation, we will use that equation. Always remember this. It's a very important point and a tip whenever you are solving kinematic questions. Often students are confused which equation to use and start. Always look for the data. If in the data s is not available, take this equation and start. Okay. The same equations in the vector form are written like this. You know, v vector is equal to u vector plus a vector into t. So when you are writing a vector is an acceleration vector. Acceleration vector will have direction. So this is not always plus, it can be minus also, depending upon the situation. So this is the vector format. Later on when you will be solving some examples, you will understand it better, but you have to always note the direction while writing these equations. This is the most important point. Similarly, s vector is equal to u vector into t plus half into a vector t square. T is not a vector thing. Only this acceleration and velocity and displacement are the vector quantities. Now, observe this. Suppose an object starts, a body starts from origin, and this is the present position vector. So this is my s vector. Displacement means this is my initial position and this is my final position. So the straight line between them is the displacement vector s, which you have calculated from this equation. Sometimes there can be a situation that the object may not have started from the origin, but from some other point, let us say A. It started from here and it reached to point B. This is my s vector. It might have taken some time, it might have been having some initial velocity, final velocity and all those things, but the object started from A. Now if you want to tag this with respect to the origin, then what we have to do, you see there is a vector triangle here. So this r vector is the total vector. Alright, the object originally started from here and went up to here. Okay, and from here it displaced to B. So what will be my r vector? R vector will be equal to r0 vector plus r0 vector plus s vector, vector addition. Then the same formula becomes r vector is equal to, you have to just to this s vector you have to add the initial position vector. It's a very important point. Initial position vector you have to add. Okay, it is like, in a simple example, let us say a car, this is the origin point, and a car traveled 2 kilometers, which is here, and from here it went another 5 kilometers. So with respect to this point, how much it has traveled means 5 plus 2, like that. Okay, one more point I would like to say, that a car started here and it is going like this. Okay, this is point A, then it is point B. Now here initially the car was at rest. You will say u is equal to 0. The velocity at B will be the final velocity. Right, now from B to C it went. Now this final velocity will become, for this segment BC, the initial velocity and it will acquire a new final velocity. Okay, so for AB section, initial velocity 0, final velocity v. For BC section, initial velocity u and final velocity v. But what is the initial velocity at u? It was the final velocity at b for the AB section. This is a small but a very important point. Make a note of that. Initial velocity doesn't mean always when time is equal to 0. That is the velocity here. No. It depends upon which section you are studying. Okay? Note it. This is an important point. Now let us see the derivations of this. You know that acceleration is equal to change in velocity by change in time, delta v by delta t. So at t is equal to 0, initial velocity, let us say, was u, and at time t is equal to t, the final velocity was v. So I can write a is equal to delta v, change in velocity, v minus u, by what is the change in time? T minus 0. It is v minus u by t. So you can take this term that side, you get v minus u is equal to at, v is equal to u plus at. This is the first equation we have derived. Now, remember, this point is a very important point. When acceleration is constant, average velocity is equal to v plus u by 2. When acceleration, in many problems we use this concept. When acceleration is constant, you can say average velocity is equal to average velocity is equal to v plus u by 2. We will see this. What is this constant acceleration and varying acceleration with a simple example later. Now, you know that average velocity is equal to displacement by time. That means displacement is equal to average velocity into time. Let us say the displacement is s. So average velocity is v plus u by 2 into t. But what is v? We have just derived. It is just u plus at. Put it over here, and when you solve it, you get s is equal to ut plus half at square. Just pause the video and see the steps. Okay. In the place of v, I just put this, and after that is a simple. It is a simplification. Okay. 2u, u and u becomes 2u. 2u plus at by 2, just individually divided by 2. So it becomes 2u2 by 2 means ut and at square by 2. So second equation also we have derived. Now, this is what we have derived. Okay. This equation we have derived earlier. So from here can I get t? T will be equal to v minus u by a. So I will put this value of t in this equation. What will I get? U into t. I'll put this value, v minus u by a plus half into a into t square, v minus u by a whole square. So just simplify this, vu minus u square by a, and this is a in the denominator, only a will remain, v square plus u square minus 2vu. Here 2 is there. Multiply both sides with 2, you get 2as is equal to, you have to multiply this with 2vu minus 2u square, and this will be v square plus u square minus 2vu. So common terms, vu cancelled, and here there is minus 2u square and there is plus u square. There is minus 2u square and plus u square, you get minus u square. So v square minus u square is equal to 2as is what we have derived. So we have basically derived all the three equations. Okay. Now, we often come across this term called constant acceleration. I am taking an example. Suppose you have a data, time, velocity and acceleration. The time is in seconds, 1, 2, 3 seconds like that, and velocity also is changing 2, 4, 6 like that. Velocity is in meter per second. This is in meter per second. This is in meter per second square, and this is in seconds. If you see what is the acceleration for this segment, the change in velocity 4 minus 2, which is 2 divided by, it is 4 minus 2 by 2 minus 1, it is 2 by 1, it is 2. You check for this segment 2 and 3. So here also it is 6 minus 4 by 3 minus 2, which is nothing but 2 by 1, it is 2. Like that, if you see the acceleration value, every time you are getting 2 only. This is the case of constant acceleration. Okay. Now take another situation. You have time 1, 2, 3. your velocities are 259, it is like this. You see, what is the acceleration here? So here in the initial case it was 2 minus 0 by 1 minus 0. But for this segment you see, it is 5 minus 2 which is 3 and 2 minus 1 it is 1. So it is 3 meter per second square. For this segment 2 to 3 second, it is 9 minus 5 4 by 3 minus 2 which is 1. So it has become 4 meter per second square. You can see here that acceleration is not constant, it is varying. So this is the case of varying acceleration. For this type of situation, you cannot use these three equations. You can use whatever you have studied now only for this type of situation. Acceleration constant means acceleration can be 0 or acceleration can be a constant number. Both come under the constant acceleration case. Okay. Varying means it is simply varying, it is not constant.